Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who ruled and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson. And I'm going to start it off in Isaiah chapter 29, verses 18 to 21. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. And this is talking about the spiritual eyes and ears of the elect of the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel consisting of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who look like these heathen nations, hearing the words of the prophets of the Lord and what? Coming back to their heritage and taking themselves out of the ways, the philosophies, and the practices of this world. 19. The meek also shall increase their joy in Yahweh, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel, because what? They found out that they are the children of Israel, and that, we're not just black, Mexican, Native American, the lowest of society, where our history began with what? Slavery. That we are a royal people of a royal lineage and a royal bloodline, and will rule in the eternal kingdom to come. For the terrible one is brought to naught, that terrible one being Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the wicked that the Bible speaks of. And the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. And that's beginning right now with the prophets preaching this word, breaking down, these strongholds of Esau, Edom spiritually, exposing who he is and what his judgment's going to be. And of course, you've got scoffers that come against us, but eventually all that is going to be cut off when Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Slakia, that was Satan, when Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai finally judges this wicked world and this wicked kingdom of Esau Edoms. Here's the main point I wanted to get to, though, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. And we are quickly coming into the times where this word will not be freely available or as easily accessible as it is right now. The famine of the word, where the men of the Lord will no longer be on the highways and byways, and these video epistles will be scrubbed from being online. And I opened up the video with these verses to preface a few articles showing that things are quickly moving in that direction. And the first article I'm going to go to is on thehill.com. Trump suggests media outlets be deemed illegal. And what? Trump's been in office going on about 2 months or so, and he's just been moving at a warp speed with all these things he's trying to get through. And now he's attacking, the mainstream media, and as it says, wanting to deem it illegal. President Trump railed against the media on Friday, suggesting some of the actions of the press be deemed illegal and should be investigated. Slovakia, hold on a second. I just had to get some water. My throat was getting a little dry. But as it said, President Trump railed against the media on Friday, suggesting some of the actions of the press be deemed illegal and should be investigated. In a speech at the Department of Justice, during which Trump railed against people and entities that he claims have targeted him, said he views CNN and MSNBC as corrupt, which, all these mainstream media outlets are corrupt, and, they're pulled by the same strings of the elites as Donald Trump And these other major players are, I believe that CNN and MSDNC, who literally write 97.6% bad about me, are political arms of the Democratic Party, and in my opinion, they're really corrupt and they're illegal. What they do is illegal, Trump said. He also claimed the media outlets work in coordination and that their reporting is able to influence the opinions of judges. These networks and these newspapers are really no different than a highly paid political operative, Trump said. And it has to stop. It has to be illegal. It's influencing judges and it's really changing law, and it just cannot be legal. I don't believe it's legal, and they do it in total coordination with each other, he added. And, while he's talking about the mainstream media and, the more liberal presses that come against him, hey, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices, because if he's talking about mainstream media should be deemed illegal, what about alternative, media, smaller platforms that talk against him or talk against anything that he supports? Lest we forget that Trump has been moving heavy to what? Pass anti-simulation laws out here to where anybody who speaks against the 1948ers, hey, they get penalized for it. I believe recently, there was a Palestinian protester who was put in place to get deported for speaking so-called anti-simulationism. So like with everything, they start off with the bigger players, but best believe it's going to trickle down, to the so-called smaller platforms. And we also know that Trump's approval rating is declining, and it's only going to continue to decline as the situation gets worse out here and more people are going to call him out. But besides, these other people out here, the main target is the men of the Lord, because what? We are revealing Esau, Edom, and their plans through the scriptures, and they can't do anything against it. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, Esau, Edom, should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And this brings me to my next article, because like I was saying, that first article makes it seem like Trump is just going after mainstream outlets. But as we'll see on this article on blackinformationnetwork.com, black, anti-racism, trauma, and more words banned by Trump administration. The Trump administration has reportedly banned nearly 200 words, including black, racial justice, and anti-racism amid its war on woke and attacks against DEI. And they can easily roll this over to us. What do they always like to put in front of the Hebrew Israelites? The black Hebrew Israelites. And then that information came out recently that Iran revealed that the CIA and FBI were investigating, the so-called black Hebrew Israelites. And I believe in that clip, they were talking about, they're pretty much, roping us in with Black Lives Matter and these other organizations, which we do not support at all. And for another goddamn thing, we are not black Hebrew Israelites. That's a made-up construct, just like white. We are simply Hebrew Israelites. And again, the 12 tribes consist of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who are going to come with skin color like Donald Trump, looking like the Moabites or so-called Chinese, looking like the other heathen nations out here. And like I also just said, Trump's working heavy to pass anti-simulation laws. And, we go heavily against those 1948ers. Hey, that's a part of prophecy to reveal that they are not the children of the Most High. And also when we go out there and preach, we do say, so-called black, and, words like that, for Israelites that come up and, they're new. We have to describe it, with what they understand in the world. So again, they can easily rope us into that and make a man an offender for a word and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. According to the New York Times, 199 words and phrases have been prohibited from use in the Trump administration as the president works to reverse efforts made by former President Joe Biden. The censored words include black, anti-racism, discrimination, racial justice, diversity, trauma, at risk, minorities, underprivileged, biased, climate change, woman, female, socioeconomic, climate change, cultural heritage, and more. So pretty much they left no stone, unturned. So, hey, with the way Trump's moving, it's looking like he could very well be that cruel Lord in Isaiah chapter 19 that's set over spiritual Egypt, which is the United States of America. And best believe Donald Trump knows about the Hebrew Israelites. I've said it in many videos in the past around the George Floyd protests during his first presidency. He put up a tweet saying, well, I bet the black Hebrew Israelites are happy to see us tearing ourselves apart. And then it had to have been less than 10 seconds. I went to go back and screen grab that clip, and it was scrubbed from the internet, and I haven't seen it since. And, when you're able to read between the lines and, Satan doesn't get an advantage of us, we're able to see, little hints here and there that Trump throws out there to show that he knows who we are and that they're watching us. Again, Iran revealed the FBI and CIA are watching the Hebrew Israelites, which we already know and which we've already been telling you, sincere brothers and sisters out there. But the first clip I'm going to go to is from Sky News Australia's YouTube channel. Trump decries perennial prophets of doom at World Economic Forum. And I'm going to start it at the 35-second mark. And this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes.
We must reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse. They are the heirs of yesterday's foolish fortune tellers, and I have them, and you have them, and we all have them. And they want to see us do badly, but we don't let that happen.
Well, Trump rejected the sign.
And we prophesy of America and Esau doing badly, and we will see it happen. And the gist of it is that he was talking about climate prophets of doom, but on that black, information news article, what did it say? Some of the words Trump wants to ban is climate science and climate change. So again, numbering us amongst the transgressors and throwing a blanket, censorship over everybody deemed anti-American, enemy of the state, as you will. But this second clip hits the nail on the head with that hammer of Babylon that much harder. And it's from Charisma Media's YouTube channel. And again, fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage or the music in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes.
Donald Trump talks end times prophecy with Joe Rogan.
The Middle East is rapidly changing. There are prophets that say the world will come to an end in the Middle East. You know that, right?
Donald Trump.
And if you're being honest with yourself, who out there has been preaching of World War III in the Middle East, in the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the Northern Army in Joel chapter 2, Gog and Magog in Ezekiel chapter 38, etc., etc. The Hebrew Israelites, chiefly of GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers coming in the spirit of GMS. So again, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We see you, Esau, and we know you see us, and that you're about to make your move against us. But this is Isaiah chapter 19. I'm going to start at verse 1. And there's not a goddamn thing, Donald Trump, Esau, Edom, the elites or anybody can do against this truth. We can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. And we've prophesied this word and you've been revealed and you are going to come against us. But that's also a part of biblical prophecy, that the persecution comes and you make a man an offender for a word. And then the next part of that is when Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to set up that standard to protect his elect. But this is Isaiah 19 verse 1. The burden of Egypt, spiritual Egypt as pursuant to Revelation 11 verse 8, the United States of America. Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt. And this is the end all be all. Yahweh through his son, Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus, riding on that swift cloud, or the chariots, which people ignorantly refer to as so-called UFOs, shall come into Egypt, America, and judge them, as well as beaming up and saving his elect. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Hey, these prognosticators and warlocks and witches, hey, their left-handed magic no longer working, and them losing heart, and then what? That literal melting coming when those chariots shoot concentrated heat or laser beams on this place, as well as nuclear missiles hit this place as well. But I'm going to jump down to verse 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. And with the way things are looking and how quickly he's moving, Donald Trump could very well be that cruel lord, that fierce king set over Egypt, because he's coming after everybody. Mainstream media and even banning words, that deal with injustice and issues in society. And as I've been saying all throughout the video, who is going to be that main target? The prophets of doom, those prophets of old who are back again, preaching that World War III would happen in the Middle East. Now I'm going to close it out in Amos chapter 8. I'm going to read verses 11 to 13. Behold, the days come, which we are quickly coming into these days, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, though food shortages and famines are coming as well, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, the famine of the word, where the men of the Lord will no longer be on the highways and byways, and these video epistles will no longer be online. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. And hey, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to have to be heavily dealing with you to come across a man of the Lord during the famine of the word and Jacob's trouble, and for him to put the spirit on a prophet to, sup with you, which if that's the case, that ultimately means you were of that elect number. But for, 2/3 of our people, hey, it's going to be too late for you. You're going to have to take that horrific judgment that's coming your way. Verse 13, in that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst, spiritually thirsty, because they're not being rehydrated by this word. And as it says in 2 Ezra chapter 9, those that took this time of liberty, not seriously, and cast this word behind them and despised it, shall know it after death by pain. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babol, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.